Hey guys, what's going on? It's Gunnar here. Welcome back. Hope you're having an awesome day. Today I want to talk a little bit about food plots, the importance of food plots, because nowadays I think we can all agree is that food plots are a hot topic. Everybody wants to be planting food plots. Everybody says you need food plots to kill deer. That's not necessarily the case, but this is how I've implemented food plots, how you're going to try to do this and have more success using food plots to create a sustainable and predictable movement on your property. So first and foremost is I'm creating a line of movement. Now what I mean by a line of movement is I'm putting deer in a specific place in their bedding areas, and I'm strategically planning out a situation to create this line of movement that's consistent. So this line of movement is going to be from bedding to food to ag. That's what I'm talking about here. Creating a line of movement. If I put a food plot over here and my ag field was over here in that corner, that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Because I'm taking deer away from where they're eventually going to end up after dark. So I'm creating this line of movement, making it easy. Making these deer want to hit it. Make it easy to hit this food plot that I'm attacking them on. Consistent and predictable movement is how you're going to kill deer over food plots. This is the specific food plot I shot the edge feathering video on, so I'm going to walk you through that whole scenario here. So first and foremost is this is my bedding. Now this goes farther than what I can portray on this board here, but that's going to have to make do. This is my bedding area. Now this isn't portrayed correctly because this is elongated and my does are nice and tight here to my food plots. Does are stacked up right in there on the edge, and then the bucks are behind them, say in here. So this doesn't exactly portray the depth of that bedding area, but I think you guys can understand what I'm talking about there. But first and foremost here is this purple marker here. This is the edge feathering. This is my aspen stand through here, the mature aspen that I went and flush cut, promoted that native regeneration, getting that woody browse through here, the blackberry briars, the shrubbery coming up. I created this flush of new growth along my food plot. So, guys, what's going on? It's Gunnar. A lot of you have been reaching out saying you need more help. Well, I want to mention my habitat company, Hanson Habitat. If you want to take whitetails and wildlife to the next level on your own property, installing food plots, timber management, edge feathering, native habitat, fruit tree planting, whatever you need, bedding cover. I'm working with a team of the best land managers in the state of Wisconsin, and we'll travel, we'll do whatever you need to take your property to the next level. Shoot me a text message, 608-632-7233. We'll get you on the list. I'll help you with whatever you need. I got your back for life. Let's get back to the video. These bucks and these does are hanging right on this edge. These does are pushed right up to this edge feathering because they have cover and they feel secure. They don't feel like they're looking right out to the food plot. And if something's out there, it looks right into the timber and can spot them. They have a thick layer of cover right here and separating them, and it makes them feel secure, and it makes this feel big, dense. I've got this edge feather right here. It's thick. It's like 30 yards here. So that's your first step, is you need to screen that food plot off. Not necessarily just from human pressure, but from a deer perspective. You need to screen that off from other deer, because if my bucks are staging back here and they take a look at the food plot and they can't see it, they're forced to come up to this edge feathering and now look and confirm it's a safe night to come out. Versus if they're standing back here, they stand up out of their bed and they can see 150 yards through my timber and see my food plot and then determine whether or not it's a safe night to approach. That's a whole nother problem. So this all of this food plot program starts with good quality habitat and bedding cover. That's the base of the cake, like we're talking about. You can't have a good food plot program if you have terrible bedding. It's just not gonna pan out. So we need to start with bedding first and foremost before we even start implementing a food plot program. So let's remember that. But this edge feathering, creating that side cover, creating that level of safety right at deer level there, making them feel secure just behind to stage, and then confirm that it's safe, and they're gonna go out and feed. Now, this blue right here, this is man-made. This is switchgrass. This is a line fence, a natural line fence, but I enhanced it with switchgrass here. So I filled in all the gaps in the tree line that was open and could be seen through. I filled all of these in with switchgrass. So now that's sitting at 6-7 feet strip all the way across here. I basically created a completely secluded food plot with my screening here. I've got edge feathering along the whole perimeter on this side, on my timber side. And now I've got switchgrass screening on my fence line side. So any of these deer in here can't even see out to the ag fields. They feel completely secure because they're covered on both sides. This is gonna promote daytime movement right here. When you have this level of cover and security, deer are gonna feed on this during the daytime, no problem, because they're not concerned about danger. They have that cover. It's basically a bedding area at this point. It's basically a food plot inside their bedding area from a deer's perspective with this amount of cover. That's a key here, screening on both sides. And at the end of the day, the way you're hunting the food plot is another problem. We can't be hunting this ineffectively. We can't be going in here on wrong winds and blowing deer out, because that's gonna destroy this daytime movement even with all of these habitat enhancements. So there's levels to this food plot stuff, right? You can have a beautiful food plot, you can have it perfectly set up habitat-wise, but if you're hunting it poorly, it's gonna do you no good. So we need to remember that. We need to be hunting smart to make these habitat enhancements actually work for us, because they can hurt us. If we're going in here and hunting this poorly, and I have a lot of big deer hitting this food plot consistently, I'm gonna shut them off completely of this movement. They're not gonna tolerate that. A big buck is not gonna tolerate heavy pressure on a food source that he's hitting. He's gonna find somewhere else that's safer, and he's not getting bothered. So when we're looking at this, creating levels, side cover, we're making this property feel so much bigger by creating this depth, breaking this up. This might be a 400-yard movement, but it feels like 4,000 yards with all of this cover within here, and I have these strips. So pockets. This lays out super big to deer because they cross this edge feather, they're in a completely different situation than they were just over here. They're screened off from other deer, danger, they feel secure, they have adequate side cover, adequate browse. Now they're in a high quality food plot that's not getting pressure. Remember that, not getting pressured. The way you hunt these food plots is top priority. And then at the same time, as that darkness starts to fall, they're transitioning to these ag fields. So now with this second layer of edge feathering, man-made edge feathering with that switchgrass, I have everything a deer's looking for in a line of movement, staying safe, staying secure, and doing all of this during daytime so I can go in and hunt these deer. So this is a scenario that I used to create a daytime herd on this food plot. This is a line of movement that I've created, and you can replicate this just by doing a few habitat enhancements. Apply this, lay this out for your own property, take a peek and see how you can implement some of these things on maybe some existing food plots that you have that could potentially take them to the next level, so we can promote daytime activity and make these deer feel safe and secure so we can be far more efficient when we go in to hunt them next fall.